Happy Mental Push-Up Friday. Yes, we are back on this Good Friday, and this Friday is my day, April 19th, my birthday. And we are officially back ready to get in the gym and do some mental push-ups. I hope you're ready. So where the heck have I been over the past 6 months? Well, 3 things over the past 6 months that I really wanted to focus in on. Number 1 was communication and speaking. So I really took some time and dug in with Toastmasters. Also, I began working with this program to help me learn like the business side of how to do things. And also I have me a business and speaking communication coach. So yes, I'm still working on that. That's a work in progress because it never stops. Secondly, I wanted to work on my discipline and my system. That's still a work in progress. We still trying to get that thing right and tight. It has gotten better, but yes, still working on that. And the last thing was the relationship with self. I think that one over the past 6 months, I think that is where I have kind of elevated the most. Also speaking too, but this one was really powerful for me because I had been working with the relationship coach several months ago, but also and that was really forced me to take a deeper dive and really go there and challenge myself emotionally. But I was in the mirror one day and I realized I was doing a whole lot of stuff. I was tutoring, I was doing a blog, I was doing all these different things, a lot of doing. And I recognized that I wasn't being. And I think over the past 6 months, that has been the biggest takeaway. Was really about who you be. Yes, you can do all this stuff, you can do all of that, but at the end of the day, it's about who you are. Because who you are really determines what you do, how you behave, and ultimately what you have. And that also made me realize that like this vlog, I want to take it to another level. Just in terms of being more transparent, being more vulnerable, and really sharing like the things that I struggle with, the things that are not so great. Because let me tell you, I don't have it all figured out. I believe that I am pretty freaking awesome, but hey, I do not have it all figured out. And I realized like I've done a lot of challenging things. Like I've ran marathons, I have played college basketball, I've done a lot of hard things, but the hardest thing that I have ever done is reworking that thing between my ears, like my mind, learning to master self. And I recognize, I said, this vlog is about 3 things. Number 1, self-mastery. Because the hardest and most challenging workout that we ever will do is on ourselves. And secondly, growing. Because once we stop growing, that's it. Challenge over comfort. And then thirdly, empowerment. So finding that power, that personal responsibility within yourself, and realizing that you have the power to be, do, and have anything you want. So we're going to go in the gym and we're going to work on it. Several months ago, when I first started Toastmasters, the first speech you do is an icebreaker. And the icebreaker is to introduce your fellow Toastmasters to you. And the first speech that I gave, I went there because I shared the truth of who I was, and I want to share it with you guys. I want you to know why this matters to me, but it all starts with me telling my story. So please, come along. Joseph Campbell has a quote that a hero is someone who has given his or her life to something bigger than oneself. I want you to remember those Saturday mornings when you were watching your favorite superhero. I know when I was younger, my girl was She-Ra. I love She-Ra because she was like the first woman superhero that I ever saw. She was strong, she was powerful, and there was no one else quite like her. But I also want you to ask yourself, what was it that made them so unique? Most of us would say it was their superpower. And I'd like to offer that each person watching this vlog has an S on their chest and a cape on their back. Now, discovering my superpower was a struggle for yours truly. But I'd like to share my journey on how and what I discovered was my superpower. When I was younger, I was extremely quiet. So quiet that people would ask me questions and my twin sister would answer for me. However, there was one area where that was a complete opposite, and that was basketball. Because I was a point guard, I was able to tell people what to do. You need to get right here. I just got killed on this screen. Where were you at? When I was in 5th grade, my coach, he pulled a few of us aside and said, listen, if for the next 7 years you guys work really hard, you're going to earn a scholarship. And he was right. It was year 6, and I was not getting recruited. The recruiter said, you're too short and you can't shoot. That's a little bit unconventional. How are you playing basketball? You short and you can't shoot. It's kind of odd. But against all odds, that summer I worked really hard and I earned a scholarship. And when I arrived on campus, our point guard had gotten injured. And within the first 5 games, I was starting. Man, you couldn't tell me anything. My head was about as big as this room. And it was one Saturday morning, I woke up, I saw myself on the front page of the paper. Oh, that just did it right there. It was on and popping. But by the end of the season, my view looked a little bit different because I was riding the bench. But I noticed that when I didn't play, I felt completely worthless. Because several weeks ago, remember, you could tell me anything. I had arrived. But just like that ball that I was dribbling up and down, as did my self-worth and value based on whether I played or not. And in college, that was my drug of choice. But as I graduated from college, my addiction to external validation had graduated to other things. I started getting degrees. I'm not going to get 1, but 2 master's degrees. Now I'll go work in the NBA. Yeah, that'll do it. That'll make me feel enough. And we often have this story of what it takes for us to be happy and successful. And I started checking the boxes to get there. I need to get in a relationship. Found me a beautiful fiance. Stalked her for 6 months before I even got with her. But yeah, don't judge me. Let me get a good job. Became one of the top teachers in the district. And we got to keep this basketball thing going. Became the head coach at the school I played at. And we can't forget when we checking the boxes, we got to have the house with the white picket fence. And I'm at what I think is the top. But as they say, pride cometh before the fall. And slowly, each one of these things started to disappear. The relationship, proposed to her 3 times. Within 2 weeks, I changed my mind. Man, I'm not a good partner. Inadequate. The team that I was coaching had to cancel half of the season because they were bullying people. Not a good coach, man. I can't even manage my team. Inadequate. My scores as a teacher dropped about 20% one year. Not a good teacher anymore. I'm just not enough. And the only thing that I had left was that house. But that house was actually a representation of me. We see houses all the time, a nice manicured yard, the car in the driveway, and externally everything looks picture perfect. But little did people know, inside I felt completely empty. I had no idea who I was. I remember that time being so very dark. Every day I would come home, I would turn the key, and I would walk up the stairs, and it's a corner room in my house. I like to call it my woman cave. But I would sit there in the dark for hours because all the stuff that I thought made me, it was gone. And on top of that, it was hard to admit to myself I didn't know who I was. I was completely lost in that dark room. But each day I did begin to notice that I did have one thing left, even though all of that stuff was gone. The one thing I did have left was myself. And I was still standing. My heart was beating every day, even though I felt completely empty. And I noticed that everything I needed, everything I wanted, it was already inside of me. So I'd like to offer that the superpower, or the sauce, if you will, is simply being you. Each person watching this video right now has a divine destiny, a calling, something that they were sent here to do. And we often have these pivotal moments. They show up and we start freaking out because we say, oh, why is this happening? But it's all leading to that, the superpower. When I reflect on my journey, all of these moments led me there. I'm quiet. I don't do people. Yet here I am telling my story today. S on my chest, cape on my back. Basketball showed me I'm more than what I do. Truly, friends, it's who we be. Because who I be, my purpose is to inspire, empower, motivate people to be more authentically who they are. That dark night of soul in that room, it brought out the worst of me to awaken me to the best of me. In summary, there's a quote by Earl Nightingale that truly speaks the idea of what our superpower is. He states, the opposite of courage is not cowardice, it is actually conformity. We are not meant to play small. We are not meant to be like anyone else. We are simply meant to be unapologetically you. Our job is to feel that, to be that, to see that. When we are disconnected from our purpose or that superpower or that thing that is us, it's just like I was in the room, in the dark, lost. So I challenge you, if you have not identified that thing or that superpower that is you, I challenge you to stand in the truth of who you are, because that, my friend, is your superpower.